Hi, my name is David Davies, and I'm basically recording myself to promote my two books, which I'm very proud about. The first book that I've done is The Romantic Landscape, and it's about past relationships and family, which is expressed through nature, and it's also helped to encourage people to actually go out walking and to look around at details, which I'm sure a lot of you do already, but it's nice to appreciate different things. And basically I'm going to read a poem out from this first of all. This is my Tommy, but this is my pal, my sidekick Tommy, which, yeah, he's busy. So first of all I'm going to read a poem called The Virgin, which is very personal to me actually. But I wrote this because I lost my virginity at 36 years of age, and I wrote this to let people know that it's just because you're a virgin, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It was only circumstance and illness that kept me from, having proper relationships, I suppose. But this one, it's about a certain girl as well, one of my ex-girlfriends, which I won't say any names. But this is called The Virgin. What is around you that covers, like the sky-filled clouds, laden to pour? To feel in moisture, drips its petal head, strands and streams to roll, as clouds packed as a napkin, with heaven's jewels bursting at the seams, it begins to rain. I am not the best for reasons I cannot explain. Clouds are in the rivers, shining their glistening diamonds. If I could scoop them in a net, I would give them to you. It is not necessarily clean and white, not like a saint in a christening pool. It is not a white robe of honesty. It is surely not pure, just because a virgin speaks, but special. This I would not squander, I would not spend or to sell a petal down the river. Do they call it dirty sheets? Fold and tie these pleats as close as your knitted stitch to pull it tighter. This robin I've looked for is in the colour of a body shared bed to give you this shape. Are you surprised to see a dry seed, to look back and see colour, gazing, glaring in shock, as giddy to the heart like two chaffinches? Her white looks across the garden scene with a Turkish delight of a pink flush, like a summer's rose, petal and soft to brush. So that's a poem from my first book, and obviously it's a recommended book, like it's a good one. And this is my second book, which is called Loud. Basically, this book takes us on the journey through my mental illness, and I'm going to read a poem again. It's personal to me, and through some of my difficult times, because I'm diagnosed with anxiety disorder and I've got a sensitivity to sound, and basically this poem basically takes us on a journey of how I felt like, and it's basically spoken compared to my dog. Yes, Tommy, I know. It's basically called Mongrel of Society, and basically there's a story in the Bible that I always remember, and I always kept this in my heart. Not that I'm religious anymore, but it was a guy called Legion, and even he got saved, and I think it's like the earliest references to mental illness, because he was chained and he used to really be angry, and he was full of demons, and he used to cut himself. There's a part in the Bible where he used to cut himself with stones, and you can really feel the despair that he went through. Basically, Mongrel of a Society is, I think it's a very good poem. To hook and clip Tommy's lead to his collar is like trying to tame and lasso a wild horse, as he twirls around on the spot, then runs eagerly on ahead to set our course. He realises that I'm not following, so he bounds back, then in a second runs forth. I kiss the air to charm him to return. Come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy. I eventually clip his loop through the ring. Stay, stay, Tommy, as it flicks close the metal cling. Once Tommy realises that he is attached, his head turns and bites the metal chain and tries to pull me along, as if he is taking me for the walk. Could you say he was a tough man? As if some kind of roustabout, this cheeky rascal with his black and white oiled slick coat. His territorial pissing can be just a few drops, sniffing as his map of scent to scout. Then an unpredictable approach of another dog. Tommy's rouster barks as he yanks about. A woman walks past with her small pedigree. She looks down as if he is a lout, and said, "Oh God," from his session of a growling bout. Tommy's fur on his back stands up, and he shows his pearly white teeth. The woman is in disgust from his causing such grief, wildly so full of demons. This time he was on the lead, where there is nothing I can do to make him take heed. A monster went off the lead as Tommy attacks, then a squeal from yet another perfect dog. The woman hits Tommy with her stick. He should be locked up, was her epilogue. My dog surely should be autistic, with his sensitivity to sound, a darkened blight laying ready to be found. The Pelican Crossing beeps, perhaps the phone rings, or the alert of a text message. Without warning, the microwave dings. Loudly disruptive, a wild excitement of a woofing outburst, our ears twist from the echo. He is always looked upon as the worst. The growl of the rolling R's, rrrr, grabbing his rope, then shaking his head about in uncontrollable flinging gestures, as if he has wrung an animal's neck limp. Suddenly he stops and looks up. The quiet eye of the storm, ears pricked and twitched, staring at me with two light brown planets, with a hint of a warm red, oh turbulent Mars. And that's the end of that poem. It is very personal to express some of these things to me, and I am on the list actually to be assessed, to be diagnosed with autism, adult autism, which I would be more on the lower end of the spectrum. But I have memories of a child where I used to bang my head and take unusual fits and turns because of sound. There's a lot of people, even in my family, actually don't even know that. But I do thank you for listening, and you can get both of my books on the on Amazon.com. If you type in the name of the book and my name, David Davies, it's the Welsh spelling Davies, and the same with that, The Romantic Landscape and David Davies. So I do thank you for listening, and all the best.